This is the Grand Seiko 62GS SBGH343, and this is the SBGH341, and I am in the middle of a juicy, steamy love affair with these. If you're new here, my name is Brittany, and on this channel we just talk about watches, cheap watches, expensive watches, whatever I can get my grubby little mitts on. I've got these two beauties on loan from the fabulous people over at Francis & Gay, so thank you so much to the team over there. If you want to check these out, or any other watches, you should go visit their website. They've got some amazing stuff. And you can always email sales@francisandgay.co.uk for more information. If you do talk to someone, make sure you say Brit Pierce sent you, so they think my videos work and they want to keep working with me in the future and sending me more awesome watches. Right, okay. Watches. So my relationship with Grand Seiko is an evolving one. For a few years now, they've been a brand that I appreciate, and I understand why other people like them, but I always thought they weren't for me. I always liked their styling and unique design language, and you can't argue with their movements. But there was always something keeping me back from pulling out my credit card and actually buying one. Until these. Being hands-on with these has genuinely pushed me to a place where I would buy a Grand Seiko, and I think my reservations about them are kind of fading. But let's overthink that later. For now, let's talk about the specifications. So these both have a case diameter of 38mm, a thickness of 12.9mm, and a lug-to-lug of 44.7mm. On the wrist, these were so lovely. Now, I normally show watches on my husband's wrist and my own, so you can see it on different sizes, but sadly, he's been away with work. Boo. So you're stuck with my 5.5-inch wrist. It is a bit large on me for this style of watch, and I think these would be the perfect proportions for a 7-inch wrist. It really is a shame James wasn't here. They would have looked perfect on him. Back to specifications, the case material is their high-intensity titanium, and these have 100 meters of water resistance, which is something I'm always looking for with an everyday watch. These are both powered by the 9S85 automatic high beat movement, beating 10 times per second, giving you 55 hours of power reserve, and an accuracy of +5, -3 seconds per day. Beautiful movement, and look at that second-hand sweep. Oh, yes, fantastic. Now, as sexy as it is talking about specifications.
Oh baby, yes. Tell me more about that water resistance. And what case material did you say? Titanium? Daddy likey.
Half of the fun of Grand Seiko is their fantastic specifications, and the other half of the excitement is their distinct design language and aesthetic details. These are both a part of the 62GS model family, so they are the modern interpretation of the 62GS, which was the brand's first watch to feature an automatic winding movement. The pink dial SBGH341 pays homage to the cherry blossoms between the winter and spring. I mean, I've never seen the landscape of the Tohoku region in early spring, but looking at this dial, I feel like they've captured it. Once again, I've never been there, but using my imagination, it makes sense. The pink is very subtle, not overwhelming, and without sounding like a total dork, I think this is one of the most beautiful dials I've ever seen. Now looking at the green SBGH343, this light green dial is inspired by the new leaves that bud on the cherry trees around the end of spring, the transition time between spring and summer. On a practical note, I would say the green is also pretty subtle and subdued, but definitely more vibrant than the pink. I said that the pink was one of the most beautiful dials that I've ever seen, which is true, but I think the green is the most beautiful dial I've ever seen. It's my favorite. The 62GS collection is made up by 3 principles. 1, a multi-sided case with a wide dial opening. 2, bezel-free construction. And 3, Zuratsu polishing. These elements create a very balanced design, clean, minimal, classical. The finishing is everything you expect from the brand, completely sublime. Zuratsu polishing with a perfect mirror finish, the unique grooves in the dial, and the case brushing. For me, this is the greatest attraction to Grand Seiko. I love their movements, I love their story and how unique they are, but their finishing is on another level. They're on a different planet, especially for the price. So, if you love them so much, Brittany, then why don't you have one? Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't do that typing bit anymore. Ink ribbons aren't cheap, and I have a watch addiction I need to support, okay? For a long time, Grand Seiko felt like this brand that I should love. And I did love. I've always loved them, but they just didn't work for me. I could never like one enough to actually pull my credit card out and buy one for the price that they were. And I also think that's something we should talk about more. Watch brands or models that you really like, but they don't work for you for whatever reason. You don't have to own everything you quite like. But you know, watch collecting is a marathon. Life is long and your tastes change and evolve as you change and evolve. And I think I'm in the midst of a metamorphosis. Metamorphosis. I think I said that right. Having these being in the metal has really won me over. Like in a way where I do actually want to buy one and I want to add a Grand Seiko to my collection. So who knows? Maybe I'll be joining the cult of Grand Seiko very soon. Who is the cult leader? Is there t-shirts? I need to know. I'll wear them on video. Okay, let's end this video with some opinion. Here's what I like and what I don't like. Starting with what I like. 1, the dial is so beautiful and captivating. I have never loved a dial more than these, and I am not being hyperbolic. 2, Grand Seiko finishing is insane and I love seeing it. 3, I thought these were delightful on wrist, and isn't that what this is all about? And 4, I just like Grand Seiko as a brand and their ethos and what it says about you wearing their watches. I love the idea of this not Swiss brand creating timepieces at an arguably greater level and not looking Swiss. Their design language is so distinctly them, so Japanese. Their movements are so distinctly them. They're different, whilst also remaining reverent and steeped in heritage. Now, what I don't like. 1, the lack of taper in the bracelet. Like the typewriter said, I like a taper. I think it provides a level of elegance in the wearing experience. And for this price point, that needs to be present. 2, the price. This is a common complaint on my channel because your girl is cheap, but the price is steep. Not unfounded, but I need to be completely in love with something to go as high as this. I am completely in love though, so... And 3, now this isn't something that I don't like per se, but something I'm conflicted about. If I was to buy a 62GS, it would be my one and only Grand Seiko. And it meets so many of the niche Grand Seiko boxes for me. The hands, case-shaped bracelet, amazing dial, all of the things I want from a Grand Seiko. But the one distinctive that is missing is that it isn't spring drive. Don't get me wrong, the movement is fantastic, and it's a big reason why people would choose this watch. Amazing, high-beat mechanical movement. But I don't know, for me, if I had a Grand Seiko, I'd want a spring drive. It is one of the biggest innovations in movement construction, and I think it's fantastic. I have lots of quartz, I have lots of mechanical, but 0 spring drive. I need it. What I don't care about, but I think others will, the thickness. Now, this is a thing that has traditionally kept me away from Grand Seiko. Like 12.9 millimeters on this style of watch is thick, but it just doesn't feel as thick as the numbers would suggest when on wrist. A good chunk of the thickness is the case back, which sinks into the wrist and isn't really seen or felt while wearing it. Would I prefer it thinner? Yes, I always prefer a slimmer watch. Am I that bothered? Not really. This wouldn't put me off of purchasing this watch, for me personally. Okay, I think I've talked long enough about these. Once again, thank you to Francis and Gay for letting me borrow these for way too long. What do you guys think of the 62GS and just Grand Seiko in general? Let me know in the comments, and Pope to your patrons. Get their names on the screen.